ask God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry.
All right, everyone. So the acknowledgement that we have all been waiting for finally came, and P. Diddy made an apology post. A lot of people are saying that it's not really an apology post and it's quite disingenuous. Let's take a look at it right now as I share the video of what was going on and what he had said in his apology. All right, here we go. Diddy responds. Let's hear it, everyone.
Like on the darkest times in your life, sometimes you got to do that. I mean, I hit rock bottom, but I made no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. I had to go into therapy and go into rehab. Had to ask God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry. But I'm committed to be a better man each and every day. I'm not asking for forgiveness.
Well, what do you guys think? I mean, he posted it on his Instagram, and I gotta say, there are 7 million people who have responded, but they're not responding positively, obviously, okay? They don't buy it. Let's take a look at what some of the people are saying on his Instagram right now. So he's saying to everybody, I'm truly sorry, okay? If you look at it right here, he says, I'm truly sorry. And yet everybody is kind of saying, hey, shame on you. I don't know much. Don't care. It's beyond my tax bracket. There are some people that are on his side, but by and large, my goodness, most people are saying that they can't believe he's done that. This is really terrible. There are people that have been saying, one day at a time, whatnot. I mean, there aren't complete haters in Diddy camp. There are some people that are, not necessarily standing with him, but are appreciating the fact that he's acknowledging it. This is significant because it's actually the very first time he has ever acknowledged or accepted any responsibility for any of the, accusations of some of the really severe charges that are against him. And the unfortunate part, and the LA County Police and Sheriff indicated that according to California law, the statute of limitations indicates that when it comes to assault, there is a 3-year limit. Okay. So you cannot be charged for an assault, even an aggravated assault. In this case, it would probably be, a serious assault. I'm not sure it was aggravated assault because we don't actually know what her face looks like. It might have been considered aggravated assault because, my goodness, he used a lot of force. He kicked her. We didn't see the aftermath of her face, but according to her documents, which coincide with the actual events that took place, her written complaint on the date of the lawsuit and why it was resolved probably so quickly is they might have already had this evidence. And this is undeniable. The fact of the matter is his lawyer should not, nor his side should not have said, by no means is this an admission to the wrongdoing by settling, which in fact, right now, it's undeniable. The reason that he has to respond, the reason that he owes it to his fans and to the world. And unfortunately, he didn't even address Cassie in the situation. He just talked about the actions, the behavior, how messed up he was, how he had to go to rehab. He didn't really elaborate on the rehab.
I had to go into therapy and go into rehab.
It just looked like the guy was more embarrassed than really remorseful. He seemed like this was something he had to do versus wanted to do. It comes a day after, and The man just looks like, he's having a bad day, not necessarily like no further explanation, no apology directly to Cassie, no apology directly to her family, no acknowledgement of the fact that he had denied these allegations before, except that, again, in true, I guess some people may say narcissistic form, it's blaming the fact that he was messed up. It is saying that, he's trying to be a better man.
But I'm committed to be a better man each and every day.
I don't think anybody, the people who are anti Diddy are going to have any belief in what he says. And the fact of the matter is that this is not an one-time thing. This isn't isolated behavior. This is behavior that has been going on based on the fact from her own admission and from her own story of how long this abuse has been going on. Then you would have been messed up for a decade. And you would have been, when did you start seeking help? This happened in 2016. The lawsuit was 2018, but Cassie is describing a decade long of abuse and mistreatment. And by the way, this happened in the middle of what they called a freak off. I'm not going to go into details about freak off. You can look it up yourself, but it involves activity that is adult in nature, and it is more than one individual. The fact of the matter is, Cassie has also, in her complaints, and in what we've learned about Cassie, and the reason why she did the lawsuit is she participated and was forced to participate in things that she didn't want to. And she's an abused woman. A lot of people, shaded her and thought she was just after the money, and they couldn't understand how she couldn't just walk away or leave. Where you can see, here's a glimpse of just one moment in their life when she is talking about repeated moments. That's why he was walking out naked in a towel. And he was inebriated on top of that. Number one, alcohol and anger and a personality like Diddy's is a recipe for disaster. Okay. Alcohol, first of all, is an inhibitor, which is an inhibitor in a bad way, or some people could say in a good way. It inhibits you and loosens you up, and it has you, take on or try things that you normally wouldn't do, because it gives you that liquid courage, as they say in dating, right? The liquid courage. Whereas in Diddy's case, it gives him the lack of common sense, and it adds aggression. And then he ends up behaving in a way that he feels, dominant and in control. And he's throwing glass vases at a woman and kicking her while she's down. Here's the thing. And we didn't even hear what you were saying, but you're yelling, you're being aggressive. She looks, in the video, you can see her face. She looks like an abused woman. Like, what am I going to do? She seems completely like, I have no idea what to do. And he's dragging her like a rag doll. So of course you're disgusted in that behavior. But you know what? Up until this point, up until there was evidence and video evidence, you always stood, and their lawyers always stood on the fact that this is absolutely crazy. I would never engage in that kind of behavior. By no means is this admission of truth. You know what? Just don't say shit, right? Don't say anything about you not doing something, because right now you look like not only a liar, your credibility's already gone. If anyone had any belief in you, it's out the window. What else? And how many other times? How long was this period of you being effed up, right? And yes, you take accountability. Yes, you're disgusted, but it does not take away from the fact that it happened. So here's what's really scary for Diddy. Knowing that the statute of limitation happens only, within 3 years, this was an incident that Cassie had talked about that happened in 2016. Yet if their breakup, it's actually too late, because any allegations for her, she can no longer charge him for anything in the past, because their relationship has been longer than 3 years. But this gives hope and an opportunity for women and men, because supposedly he also participated in behavior. Anybody who has evidence or witnesses of Diddy behaving this way in the last 3 years, there is hope for you. Okay, there is hope for you, because the statute of limitation is still on your side if you can get that evidence and bring it up. Now, any video evidence, again, unless it is serious case where someone they're talking about, really crimes that would be punishable by life sentence, and you are harming and you're doing severe crimes, there is no statute of limitations there. And there are a lot of people that are thinking that Kim Porter may be a victim of that with Diddy, right? But they have to figure out what that evidence is. But there's no actual charge or case against him. I'm not going to say that I believe that. I'm literally going over what the speculation is and what, not fans, but what the public is saying, the public opinion about Kim Porter's death and many other people that have died or deceased that is attached to Diddy in a negative way, right? It's like, don't mess with him kind of thing. Anyway, it is out. Diddy, it's gotta be challenging for you. At the end of the day, he is a human being. Is he a good human being or a bad human being? Should he repent and should he say to people that he is accountable? I appreciate that he's saying that. But for the most part, there are a lot of people that are saying this was a PR, not a stunt. This was probably something that his PR team had said, you need to say something, you need to acknowledge it. And that's about it. It was kind of the shortest, flattest, semi-insincere post behavior that, nobody wants to talk about. He wants to be a better man. There are a lot of people that are really questioning his manhood and if he is a man at all, given that he is a father, given that he has daughters and he's, had women in his life and whatnot. So tragic news either way. Would love to hear your thoughts and what you think is next for Diddy.